Okay, this is a continuation of the 9-2 lecture and the video from class. So this problem says find the exact values of sine of x plus y and the tangent of x plus y if x and y are numbers such that x is between 0 and pi over 2, y is between pi and 3 pi over 2, and the sine of x equals 3/4, and the cosine of y is equal to negative 1/3. Determine in which of these following intervals x plus y lies between 0 pi over 2, pi over 2 and pi 3 pi over 2, and or 3 pi over 2 comma 2 pi. So this is really gnarly. So a couple of things. This is telling you that the sine of x, the value sine of x equals 3/4. That's telling you that it's in the first, I believe it's in the first quadrant. Okay, and then this where y pi is between pi and 3 pi over 2. Well, where are you when you're on pi and 3 pi over 2? I believe you're in the third quadrant. So this is quadrant number 1. This is quadrant number 1. This is quadrant number 3. Okay. The rest of the stuff, and they gave us the values of sine and cosine in those spots. And then they want us to determine which of in which of the following intervals is the x plus y part. Is it in the first, second, third, or fourth quadrant? Okay. So to start this, I know that the sine of x is 3 over 4. So I'm going to set it up just a right triangle. And this is x Oscar had, and I got to find the question mark. So I know that to find that, that would be question mark would be equal to the square root of 16 minus 9. So question mark is the square root of 7. So I have this guy. This is the square root of 7. While I'm at it, why don't I go ahead and say, okay, well, the cosine of y is equal to negative 1 over 3. So it's actually in here. If I just disregard, I know that I'm in the third quadrant, but if I disregard that, that's x. Oscar had a heap, and this is question mark. Question mark is equal to the square root of 9 minus 1. So question mark is equal to the square root of 8, or question mark is equal to 2 radical 2. All right, let that digest for a second and see if it makes sense. All right, now I disregarded the sign, but I got to remember in the third quadrant, remember, all students take calc. So depending on what I'm finding, I have to be mindful of that. So for the first thing where it says find the sine of x plus y, sine of x plus y. Well, this is the sine of x times the cosine of y plus the cosine of x times the sine of y using the identities from class. So the sine of x is 3/4. The cosine of y is negative 1/3. Now the cosine of x, let's see, Oscar had a heap. So this is radical 7 over 4. So the cosine of x is radical 7 over 4. And the sine of y, all right, if this is 2, so this is Oscar had, so 2 radical 2 over 3, but it's going to be negative because it's in the third quadrant. And this is negative 2 radical 2 over 3. Now we go ahead and multiply. This is negative 1/4 plus, this is going to be negative 2 radical 14 over 12, which is negative 1/4 plus radical 14 over 6. Now let's see if we can make that a little nicer. Okay, so that looks really, really, really sloppy and bad, but now if we just say, okay, I got to make these, to add them together and make them a common, so this is negative 3 over 12 plus back to 2 radical, or excuse me, back to negative 2 radical over 12, then this becomes negative 3 minus 2 radical 14 all over 12. Okay, so you can leave it at that. Let's look at the other one. The second part of this is the tangent. The second part of that is the tangent. So let's find the tangent of x plus y. Now, real quick, this guy, since the sign is negative, then all students take calc. All students take calc. That guy probably is, the sign is probably either in the third or the fourth quadrant. But we have to wait to see, because the tangent of x plus y will determine where we're at. So the tangent of x plus y we know is the tangent of x plus the tangent of y over 1 minus the tangent of x times the tangent of y. Now, when we look at this, we know that the tangent of x is going to be, Oscar had a heap of apples. The tangent of x is going to be 3 over radical 7 plus the tangent of y. Oscar had a heap of apples. So 2 plus 2 radical 2, and that's all over 1 minus 3 over the square root of 7 times 2 radical 2. Now, the third quadrant, the tangent is positive, so that's why I'm going to go with this, because this guy's in the third quadrant, so all students take calc. So then right here, this looks really, really bad, but we're going to look at it and see we got 3, so this is radical, 3 radical 7 over 7 plus 14 radical 2 over 7, and that's all over 1 minus 6 radical 2 over radical 7. And so that looks out, that's really nasty, but if you look at this, this is a positive number. That's a positive number. Okay, so what's going to happen is that means that we are in the see, both sine and tangent of x plus y are negative numbers. Okay, so that means that you're only in the fourth quadrant. Okay, I know this one's super sketch, super crazy, but if you can just go through the basic math, take another look at it, look in the book, see if they can explain it a little bit better. But yeah, that's basically what you have to do for this one. Next thing I want to talk about is this right here. You know of sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. Now, sine is reciprocal as cosecant, cosine's reciprocal is secant, and tangent's reciprocal is cotangent. These are reciprocals, right? But what I want to talk about for a second is something called a cofunction. And cofunctions are neat because cofunctions here's the cofunction: sine and cosine, tangent, cotan, and secant and cosecant. These are co-functions. That means they work hand in hand to help you out a little bit. Co-workers. So down here in this box right here, these are your co-functions identities. These are your co-function identities. So they are important. Can't spell identities. So those are your co-function identities. So I'd write those down in your notes and see that the sine of pi over 2 minus x is equal to the cosine of x. The cosine of pi over 2 minus x is equal to the sine of x, etc. We're going to use those to help us with the last example that we're going to have, and that is this one right here. So pause the video, write these down, and let's look at this. It says, verify that the cosine of x minus pi over 2 over cosine of x is equal to the tangent of x. So what we're going to do first is we're going to see what we can use to help us. All right. So let's think. Are we going to look at the left or are we going to look at the right? Okay, so this one's really sneaky because this x minus pi over 2 kind of looks like that co-function identity of the cosine of pi over 2 minus x is equal to the sine, but it's not. If I rewrote it as negative pi over 2 plus x over the cosine of x, I'm almost there. I could technically pull out a negative and do pi over 2 minus x, and that's over the cosine of x. Now, if I do that, if I say, okay, well, the cosine of pi over 2 minus x is equal to the sine. So I could say that, well, negative pi over 2 minus x is the exact same as x minus pi over 2, so I'm going to use that. So this is a cofunction identity. This guy right here is a cofunction identity, which means that is the sine of x, and then this is over cosine of x. And last time I checked, that's what the tangent is. So I know it's a little crazy, but please watch this video tonight, or please rewatch this, anything in this video you don't get, and I look forward to seeing you.